All right. So I've made a new build and I added something that I think is pretty cool new feature where you can create custom shareable recommendation lists. So you know how I have a recommended tab and you have this feed of different recommendation lists. Now these are all coming from my backend, but now you can make your own. So how it works is up here in the top left on the search tab, instead of the source dropdown, which used to be there, which I moved to here, there is a toggle between select mode and a read mode and a share button. So when you are in the read mode, it works the same as normal. When you click on something, it just takes you to the chapter list page and you can read it, and that's all normal. But when you click on select and go into the select mode, you can do a bunch of stuff. So when you perform any kind of search, any source, doesn't matter, you can then select things on any search and then use this share menu to create a list. So if you bring up this share menu, there are a few options. So you have the option to either save, so where it says which manga should be saved to file, you can either save all the search results from that search, which the way it works, because search is paged, it'll only save whatever you have scrolled and loaded. So let's say if the search was 50 pages long, if you wanted all 50 pages worth of results to be saved, you'd have to scroll all the way through 50 pages. That's just the nature of how the loading works. But for this example, let's just do selected because I selected a few. Then you can give your list a title and a subtitle. And then there are a few options. So where it says overwrite existing file, you have the option of, so the way it works is that in the files folder for Manga X Manga, I am creating a Rex folder. And in the Rex folder, there is going to be one file there that's called Rex_raw. And whenever you're making a list, you can either overwrite that file every time you go to save something, and it will take whatever you're choosing to save into a list and overwrite everything that's in that file currently. Or if you select no to override existing file, it will just add to that list. Now, if you wanted to add to that list, what you could do is basically perform a search on one site, on one search, select those, add those to the list, go somewhere else to another source, and just keep adding to the list as many things as you want. And it'll keep adding to that list. Since this is the first time I'm saving anything, it doesn't really matter yes or no because the file is blank right now. So now I click save, and if I go to Files app, you'll see that I have a Rex folder and it has this Rex raw file. And the way the app is set up, every file that you have in this folder, in this format, will automatically show up. If you go back to the app and you go to your recommended tab, now it will automatically show on top of the recommended results from my backend. Whatever you create that's in that folder will show up on top of the results, and It works the same as all the other feeds, so you can click into them and read them and it will all work. And you can take these files from the file app and send them to other people, and they can airdrop them into their files app. And if they put it in that folder, it'll automatically show up here. But so let's get back to that file. So that file is technically the main raw file that gets overwritten every time you make a search. So let's do a different search and add some stuff to that file. So let's add a few things. Now all this stuff, I'm specifically saying selected, override existing file, no, so it will add it. But on top of that, I'm done now. Now I want a final file that won't get ever edited again through the app. So there's this option, done making list. So when you select yes to done making list, you can enter a file name here. Then when you click save, it will, now you can see that there's two items in this Rex folder. There is the raw file that will always be there, and this new file, sports and mecha, that we just named and saved. So now, if you go back to the app, there's a weird bug where you have to leave the Discover page and come back before it actually updates the recommended. But now you have, here's the actual file that we just saved, sports and mecha, and it has all the things that we added as well. So this still shows up. This is the raw file. If you wanted it not to show up, you have a few options. You can if you were to just choose selected and overwrite the file, now it would clear out that file, and if you go back, you would have this empty list because it cleared out that file. But for now, if you wanted to just completely erase it from existence, if you delete it from the Files app, now if you go back to the app and leave and come back, now they're completely gone, and you only have that file that won't ever get overwritten within the app. And basically you can now take this file and share it to other people, through AirDrop and whatever. Now, just for an example, right? As long as, if the file is not in that Rex folder, it won't show up in the app. So if I leave and come back, right? Now it's gone. It's not going to show up. But so let's say you shared the file to other people, right? And they airdrop it into the app. The app now supports, now this part may not be in the App Store version yet, but it will be in the Testflight build. Whenever you go to the Files app and you have a correctly formatted file in this RMXM format, if you just select it and then do open in MXM, it will automatically move it to the Rex folder and add it to your feed, and there it is. Now you can click into it and read and use it. And you can have as many of those files as you want in your in that folder. So just an example, let's see. Let's do something I don't have to log into. let's do this search. And in this case, right, let's just do something simple where I just say, put all of them in the folder. All list. Everything from the search. Just so you can see that now this is just the Rex raw file because I didn't save a final file. But now you have all of the results from that search being saved. And you can click on any of them and start reading. Now, if you go again, so if you go to the Files app, right, you'll see that those two files exist in there, and you can say share all these files. The other thing, this is not really related to this feature, but I also fixed an issue where certain zip files that had images directly in them didn't work. That's fixed now, as well as now you can also import. So before you could only import zip files through the import tab. But now, now you can import files directly from the Files app if you wanted to. So if you ever get a prompt that's something like, whenever you airdrop a file to your phone and you get a prompt that's like open with, that should now work for both the recommendation list file and the zip files. Again, this is something that is not yet in the App Store version, but it will be in the Testflight build today. So let's say select the zip file, I should be able to open it in the app. And